All right, there she is. Da, da, dun, 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 dun. So, this right here is the Samsung HW-R550 soundbar. It is a 2.1 channel, 300 watt soundbar. Now, if you're like me, and you probably aren't, because I haven't found many people like me, except in little places with rubber walls and lots of pills, you might say, I don't want a soundbar. Soundbars are ridiculous. They sound like crap. Well, if you say that, you are usually right, and you're probably a smart and very handsome young man or woman. There is an exception to the rule. I have been one of the people, of the many people, that have purchased these Samsung soundbars. We were wrong. We gotta live with it, because this thing has one hell of a sound dynamic. When you stand in front of this thing, it sounds like you're in a room surrounded by speakers. Now, with this particular model, there is an option to get the two added side speakers that go around you that, if I understand correctly, aren't really like speakers with, that are part of your channel, but they kind of provide backup. You know what I'm saying? So, from what I've heard, it's like if you're watching a movie and a helicopter flies over your head, you can hear it going behind you because of the other backup speakers that are wireless too. So it does come with that. I don't have. Let's take a quick look at the subwoofer, because whoa, this is a wireless subwoofer. It has no wires. The only wire coming out of this guy is going to be into your outlet. Now, it's I haven't taken the grill off, partially because it's on there pretty good. But if I had to guess, I'd say this is about maybe a 6-inch sub, or maybe even less. Now that I really feel it, maybe 4.5. Well, anyway, I'm amazed. It truly is amazing. It's not the largest box. It's in a pretty tight box, which matters. I've been involved with stereos for quite a while, so the compactness of the box provides a lot punchier bass. So I imagine the magnet is only about 4 inches, but it lights up the whole room. This is a pretty big room in here. This isn't normally where I have the TV. I have it there from the review I did yesterday about the Samsung 7 series. But it knocks, man. It really knocks. There's some power in there. And I listen to a lot of music. So the use case for the soundbar and the subwoofer are going to primarily be for music. And I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed by the sound that comes out of here. We're going to go into the specs in a minute. But just, from having it, I've had it for about 2 weeks. I'm impressed. Very impressed. It sounds like you're standing in a room full of speakers. Okay, anyway, we're back. Did a little research. One correction, 320 watt soundbar, not 300. So I gotta get that out there. The right angle, you can see the drivers. There appears to be 1, 2, a horn. You know what, let's give it a shot, why not, right? Now, maybe because this is in 4K, we'll be able to see. Okay. So, alright, so you can kind of see one right there. That's one driver. Let's move over. Oh, I don't know if you're going to be able to make that out. I'm looking through the camera and I can see it. That's another tweeter, it looks like, right there. There's nothing here until we get to the middle, where there's some type of speaker, but it's like a patch. You don't see any speaker, but there's something there that emits your mids. I'm not sure what the technology is, but you can't tell by looking at it. But if you put your ear up to it, you can hear your mids coming out of there. So, you know, that's probably where the heavier, you know, the heavier mid-range sound comes out of. Well, it is where the mid-range sound comes out of. And then as we keep moving, it's the same thing on this side. Oh, there you go. That's your one tweeter, it looks like. And then this little guy, another tweeter, I'm gonna guess. And I'm not sure how they do it. That's it's a screen right there. We'll take a look at it in a minute. I'm not sure how they do it, but the middle is where your mids come out of, and that combined with the tweeters on either side. I'm not sure how they did it, because it's not, you know, groundbreaking new technology. You know, Samsung's been making speakers for a while. They're pretty good at it. It just sounds incredible, you know. The subwoofer is a 6.5 inch, so we're gonna correct that as well. I felt like it was smaller, but apparently it's a 6.5 inch. And when I tell you, the bass that comes out of that guy right there, it's something special. That TV is gonna push out Dolby Digital, I think. Yeah, right? Dolby Digital, and this is gonna take it in, because that's why they want you to pair it with the Samsung TVs, because they can do the Dolby Digital. So 320 watts, 42 hertz to 20,000 kilohertz, so, or 20 kilohertz. So it's got a wide range, you know, as wide as you'd expect from something like a home theater. There's one auxiliary input. There's your USB micro or micro B input. I hear it's for updating the firmware on the soundbar. Your auxiliary, your regular old, I guess 3.5 millimeter auxiliary input. Your digital audio input. So it comes with an optical wire that goes right to the Samsung, which also has optical output. And then as we keep moving, we'll see the HDMI inputs. You got one ARC output, which is where you're going to want to plug your television into, or if you have a gaming system, or if you're not using the optical wire that is, that's where you're going to want to plug your TV. Or as in my case, I plug the PlayStation into that so it gets the sound, and then your HDMI input on top of that. So you got your two HDMI ports, your DC 24 volt plug, looks like a regular DC input. Alright, so I'm going to show you just how to plug it in. Very, very, very simple process. Now what we have here is one optical wire, and all you do is find your optical input, which would be right here, and oh buddy, you gotta, it only goes in one way, so you gotta kind of twist it until you find. There we go, and you're in. Click, nice satisfying click, and then all we do is find our AV wire, wherever that might be. Where are you, little bugger? Where you go, little buddy? There it is. Alright. AV. Standard, regular, old, whatever you'd expect. And it goes in flat on the bottom. So if you'll notice, give it a little push. If you'll notice, there's little channels that you can feed the wires behind so they don't stick out. Now that we have the wires fed to the bottom, just push them through the back. Plop your soundbar down, like so. Tuck your wires in, and voila, freaking la. Now, obviously, in an optimal situation, you wouldn't see the wires, but the way I have it set up right now, it's just the way it is. So there you go. You have your soundbar. The subwoofer. Come on, little buddy, we need you. You've been drafted. Move over, bud. You get your one power input, and plug her on in, and that's it. Now, It'll pair. It's probably already paired. And that's it. Now, if you have a Samsung TV, go to your menu, go to your sound options, sound output, optical. And of course, if you had HDMI, it would show you HDMI and you would click that. So we click optical, give her a close, and now we'll look at the EQ settings real quick. Oakley dokley. So, this is how it is. This right here, that's the remote. It comes with the soundbar, you don't have to buy it. A lot of toggles, pairing, power. It even has a dedicated Bluetooth pairing button that I'm trying to get you to see. Yeah, Bluetooth pairing button. That other button switches sources, so HDMI, optical wire, Bluetooth. We're gonna show you right now. This is how you toggle through the treble and bass and whatnot. Sound mode is what I was telling you about, you know, the game mode, surround mode, standard mode. I'll show you. This settings button right here, that's how you get to your treble and your bass. Not the subwoofer bass, the soundbar bass. And then you have a little mute button. I like these dedicated, you know, mute buttons and Bluetooth button. It's very convenient. So here you have your volume switch and your subwoofer switch. Now, you don't actually, you can press the volume button and it'll activate, it'll go into volume, and then you push the switch up and it'll raise your volume, push it down, lower your volume. Same thing with the subwoofer. It'll go up to 6 and all the way down to -12 in case you don't want the house shaking, because most more than likely your house will shake. Any hooger, let's take a look at this guy. Oh, I guess guy. Alright, let's turn it on. Ready? Whoop! On. Very descriptive. Wow, look at that glow. I don't see that when I'm actually looking at it. That's odd. Anyway, that's the optical audio output. So right now it's set to optical wire for the television, and we can move through them. Auxiliary, in case you have an auxiliary wire plugged into your phone or PC or whatever the case may be. HDMI, that's usually rigged up to my PlayStation, so when I want to hear my PlayStation, or it's going to the TV from the PlayStation through the ARC. So that's how I hook it up. Or you can throw the HDMI right to the TV. It is notable that the optical wire has that AnyNet, and that's the TV speaker right there, in case you don't want to use the soundbar. So anyway, a lot of times when you get the soundbar, by default the TV will play its speakers and the soundbar will play its speakers, and they're not synced, so it sounds weird, so you're going to have to switch through these until you hit optical or HDMI. So let's check out. I would play you something, but it's pointless because, you know, I'm recording it through a tiny microphone on a cell phone. It's not gonna do anything. Treble, and you know, use your upper. This guy, I have it on 6. Take it all the way down if you like to -6. So let's put it back to where I like it. Bass gives it a little heartier of a tone coming out of the soundbar. It's not the subwoofer bass. I have it set to 0 because I don't like that distorted deep bass coming out of tweeters. I've always thought it sounded odd. So let's check out the subwoofer switch. Ready? Subwoofer. I have it up to all the way 6 because I like that knock it gives. But if you don't want that, you don't want to wake up the kids, the wife, the dog, the homeless guy in the basement, you lower it down. Lower it. Hey. You lower it down. It'll go all the way to -12. Bang. So that's what you do. And you want to turn it off, hit the power button. And if your TV is off and you forget to turn the soundbar off, it's Energy Star certified, so it'll shut itself off. So that's that, man. Nice little remote. Friggin' 3-foot soundbar. And then the little fella down here. Alrighty. Those are the mounts. And I like them because they're so tiny. You can't even see them once you put the soundbar up. Voila. There you have it. Oh look, we can get an angle on the speakers now. a little bonus footage? Yeah, it is. I figured I'd give you guys a look at the soundbar in all of its soundbar glory. Only because it looks a little cooler than, you know, how I showed you before. So, here. Look at that little baby. That's one of my favorite things about it, right there. You know what, we need a little light. Or maybe some exposure. There it is. Maybe like that. That's one of the reasons I like it, is just because it's so... The form factor. It's so tiny, you know? I mean, tiny as in low to the ground. Or low to the nightstand at this point. But that's why I got these nightstands, though. Huh? They were cheap. They were like $12 for both of them at a dollar store. And they just look... I thought they looked cool like that. So that's what I went and did. There's the subwoofer. And that's it, right there. So, that really concludes the Samsung Soundbar edition of DrewTube.
So after you threw him under the bus and I saved him,
Whatever, man.
himself back into the bus?
I gotta make some friends.